Mock funeral for Venice dramatizes flight of residents from city's heart. By RACHEL DONADIO, New York Times. Dateline Venice. At high noon on Saturday, a gondola bearing a hot pink plywood coffin decked with yellow flowers made its way down the Grand Canal. Onlookers watched from the shore and shouted greetings from the Rialto Bridge before the boat alighted nearby in front of Venice City Hall. Part photo opportunity, part political theater, the spectacle was the centerpiece of a fake funeral for the city of Venice. A group of prankster provocateurs organized it to protest the fact that the number of residents in Venice's historic center has dropped below 60,000, down from 74,000 in 1993, as rising rents and hordes of tourists have pushed thousands to the mainland. As a result, locals feel like an endangered species. "We're going to turn into a city of ghosts if something isn't done soon," said Matteo Sesci, a local hotelier and spokesperson for Venice, a group that organized the funeral. "In 30 years, there might be 0 Venetians left." Dressed in black the day before the funeral, Mr. Sesci, 40, was standing near a pharmacy with an electronic population ticker in the window. It read 59,992. The city, however, places the number at 60,025 for Venice proper, plus another 30,000 in the surrounding islands. In a statement, Venice's housing commissioner, Mara Rumitz, compared the stunt to a funeral for a father who is still alive, which in general brings it a bit of bad luck. Still, it is a long way down from 108,300 residents in 1971, and it pales in comparison with the 18 million tourists who visit Venice each year. Some local residents think the funeral is overdue. "They came too late," said Massimo Zane, 52, as he stood at his fish stand in the Relatio market. "We're already dead." When his father opened the stand 40 years ago, "We had rows of people lined up too deep," he said. "Not so today. There are just a few retired people here. I'm sorry for them. Life is expensive." Real estate prices are steep in the historic center, and many property owners can command far more with short-term rentals to foreigners than with long-term rentals to residents. As more people move to the mainland, many protest a decline in services in Venice proper, including medical offices, child care facilities, food shops, and even cobblers. Many Venetians see the closing of a vast hospital complex on the Lido, which the city has put up for sale to developers, as the ultimate symbol of tourism over local interests. "The city doesn't do anything for us," said Matteo Mattazzi, who came to watch the fake funeral. "They do more for tourists and students. We want to live here with our families. We want it to be a living city the way it was when we grew up here." The issues go far beyond market reality and tap deep into local identity. To many Venetians, the idea of moving to the mainland, or terra firma as they call it, is almost like asking a mermaid to walk on land. "It's a huge cultural leap," said Nelly Elena Varnson Marciani, a historian of Venice and a local activist. As Angelo Franceschini picked up his granddaughters from a convent school in the San Polo neighborhood, handing them special cookies for the feast of San Martino, he spoke in even more apocalyptic terms. "For an old person to move to Metzra, that is death," he said, referring to a nearby mainland town. Venezia and other groups are asking for tax breaks for local residents and far more public housing at below-market rates. Some have accused the group of xenophobia, but Mr. Sesci said it considered anyone who loves Venice a Venetian. Ms. Rumitz, the city's housing commissioner, counters that 45% of Venetians live in city housing, a, quote, near Soviet number, compared with 4% average elsewhere in Italy. She attributed the drop in population to the disparity in birth rates and death rates, not an exodus. Rather than a long left and right, Venetians seem more divided over differing visions for the city. How to balance the free market economy and the democratization of tourism with a sense of local identity in the world's most fragile city. Environmental and transportation issues generate intense polemics. The city is deeply divided over the $6.8 billion Moses project, a series of dams aimed at preventing flooding in Venice, which is estimated to be finished in 2014. They are also split over a project that would allow people to park on the mainland and reach the Venice airport with a kind of subway. Some say it will improve visibility. Others say it will cater to day trippers, not residents, and make the city even less visible. If you have an oriental carpet, are you a Democrat or an idiot if you let everyone walk over it? Ms. Vanzan Maraschini said. You're an idiot. Guido Moltito, a former spokesperson for the city, said the future was full of questions. The environmental questions are big, but the real question is the future. Will Venice become a Disneyland or no? He added, but that's a problem facing all the historic centers of Italy. So what makes Venice different? It's a sort of defense of the privilege of living in Venice, said Claudia Fornister, the deputy editor of Corriere del Viento, a daily newspaper. It is an attitude that says, since we're the most beautiful city in the world, everyone has to take care of us. Back near the Venice City Hall, the members of Venezia carried the coffin ashore. Venice, you aren't dead, you're just tired, an actor recited. They smashed the coffin and popped open bottles of spumante, spraying them on the ground. Out of the coffin, they pulled a flag. It was bearing a phoenix.